Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Sex Ed for You's YouTube channel. I am Lauren, owner and educator with Sex Ed for You, and I am a certified holistic sexuality educator. And on this platform, I answer your most common questions. A question I've been getting a lot recently is, hey, Lauren, I really want to try some role play and some different scenarios with my partners, but what are some common role plays? I don't even know where to start. Well, you have come to the right person, because prior to being a sexuality educator, I was actually an actor, still am. Sometimes I'll play around on local stages, and pretending to be different characters is one of my favorite things in the entire world. So let's go through a few of my favorite role plays. Okay. The one that I do most often with my partner, and my intern has said that it's one of her favorites too, is to pretend that you are on a very first date. Now, this is why this is interesting, because the more we get to know a person, the more we feel that we already know them, and it takes out the element of surprise. So by pretending, by getting dressed at separate locations, arriving in separate cars, being at a certain place on the bar that maybe you've never sat before, or finding yourself in a booth and your partner doesn't know what you're wearing, you add in elements of mystery. It's simple. So simple and so easy to do. I encourage you to then ask each other questions also as if you don't know each other. If you need help with this, go ahead and zip me an email, lauren@sexedforyou.com, and I can provide you with one of my favorite resources, which is 36 questions to get to know your partner more intimately, and you can pretend that you've truly never known them before. Okay, so that's a fun one. Maybe you can take somebody back to your place and have a fun evening together. See how long you can keep it going. I'll let you know a funny antidote. My partner and I actually played this on our honeymoon, and it was so fun. I think we kept at it for maybe an hour or two. And during this time, I was asking him about himself, and he was telling me that he had recently gotten married and proceeded to tell me all about his wife. Y'all, it brought me to tears. I started crying because here's this hot hunk sitting next to me who was telling me all about myself, but from a third party angle. It was beautiful. You can do this too. All right, now let's talk about some others that people often play with, and you will see costumes in every sex shop for. You'll see it all over Amazon, okay? And some of those are like the nurse costume, the police officer, professor glasses, things like this. What I want to talk about is that any of these characters that you might be playing have a reason. And this is why I want you to really lean into these with your sexual partners, because they are playing with the 4 cornerstones of eroticism. Okay, the 4 cornerstones of eroticism are anticipation and longing, violating prohibitions, search for power, and overcoming ambivalence. Again, anticipation and longing, violating prohibitions, search for power, and overcoming ambivalence. All role play, or as I like to call it, pretend, usually embodies one or multiple of those 4. So before you pick your next character that you want to try out with your lovers, I want you to think about what really turns you on. Do you really love the hunt? Do you really love the power dynamic? Do you really love breaking some taboos? All right, what really turns you on? Play with it. Go into it. If it is violating prohibitions, all right, and it's those taboos, then I betcha something like a nurse dynamic or a professor dynamic is going to be really hot to you. Remember what Esther Perel says, which is the things that most arouse us are usually the things that we would demonstrate against during the day. Do not worry, my friends, if what turns you on erotically is not at all something you would condone in your everyday life. It's okay. It's absolutely okay. I want you to have fun with it. Another role play that's very typical is this kind of enemies to lovers or friends to lovers type of idea. Again, that kind of is on the same vein of a first date type of thing. And that would be the luscious erotic turn on of overcoming ambivalence, right? Ooh, I want them to notice me. Ooh, I want them to notice me. Okay. My partner and I will often do this. We live in a very small town, so there's not many places to go. So sometimes we will go to a restaurant but pretend like we don't know each other. And we will both do our separate thing all night long. So we do this so often that the bartenders know that we do this. And sometimes we'll send each other a drink and we'll play with it the whole night. Y'all have so much fun. Role playing is just an adult version of pretend. And so go back in your memory, what has always been fun to you that's probably a part of your core erotic theme, and you can only enhance it now. If you have more questions about this and you want someone to bounce ideas off of how you would enact a role play scene with your partner, go ahead and send me an email or a DM. You can reach me on email at lauren@sexedforyou.com or DM me on Instagram or leave a comment below. We'll get to it. If you would love to just go ahead and schedule a free consult, you can do that by going to sexedforyou.com/free consult. I am so glad you're here. Submit questions to us and have fun.